Welcome, guys.
Hey, Kees.
You look sharp dressed, Case.
Thanks.
You smell nice. Are you some special
Special occasion.
Special
Every day is a
occasion.
special occasion.
podcast number?
53, 54,
Yeah,
55?
I don't know. We're having fun.
I have no clue. How's life? How was
What's,
your holiday?
what's on your burnt hair or burnt
Yeah.
dragon?
It's burnt hair.
Burnt
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite cologne.
Yeah, I love the smell, by the way.
I love the smell of burnt hair too.
Yeah.
How was Egypt?
Yeah, very good. I was in Egypt the last couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
together with Geoffrey Drum from the YouTube channel The Land of Cam. It's definitely worth checking out. Geoffrey, a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, decided to go all in on the research on the pyramids and the ancient civilizations before, let's say, the dynasties started in Egypt. So the pre-dynasty period. And Geoffrey sold all his properties, his house, left his corporate bullshit job, as he said, and decided to spend all his life to solve the mysteries of the pyramids. He had a strong conviction when he traveled to Egypt for his first time. He himself had a background in chemistry.
Yeah.
Hence
the name of the podcast.
Land of Chem, Land of Chemistry,
Yeah.
and the Land of Chem is Egypt. Used to be called Chem, so that's also where the word chemistry originated from. So that has a long history that goes back thousands of years. And his hypothesis, so to say, started when he entered the Red Pyramid, where he smelled a very strong sense of ammonia. And then, he felt that the chambers were sort of talking to him like, what is this? Everybody is always asking, like, how are the pyramids being built?
Yeah.
But the question is, why are they being built?
Yeah.
And what was the function of the pyramids?
Everybody thinks it's a tomb for pharaohs and stuff, but
So later generations, of course, then used those pyramids for all different purposes. But I'm always a history buff, so I'm always interested in that. I always say it's my favorite time distraction.
yeah,
It's a rabbit hole where
easy to get lost in multiple different rabbit holes.
easy to get lost in. But the cool thing about let's say ancient civilizations and pyramids, for me, are a couple of things. So number one, there are always like crazy stories out there, like alien civilizations have been building them or whatever type of theories. But that actually discounts the capabilities of what we humans are capable of, right? So we humans now also build fantastic buildings, like the buildings in Dubai or with
so
Tesla,
it's
with
more
the gigafactories.
underestimating humans. By
Sort of
downplaying.
underestimate humans. And the ancient Egyptians were master engineers, master builders, but most of all, master understanding of nature, the process in nature, and everything that comes to that. So the whole physics originates also from nature. So if you look, for example, at XAI's better understanding the universe.
And studying reality, and then hence
studying
science
reality
comes to exist.
And nowadays, everything is very much siloed, right? So you have specialists.
Yeah.
So in whole sorts of niche expertises, you can have specialists, which is great because as society, you can move forward with specialists at hand for things. But the ancient Egyptians were combining many of those expertises as a more sort of holistic approach.
More in touch with with nature.
And the process of nature. So they understood how to harvest the power of lightning, for example.
Awesome.
To use lightning as a force to create electricity field or electromagnetic field. They understood principles like the osmosis, creation of energy. So if you have salt water and normal water coming together, but also the process of ammonia, which is the Fritz Haber, the original inventor of ammonia. He came up with the idea of producing ammonia after visiting Egypt. So
awesome.
also many people in the past have been traveling, like the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks. They all have been studying those ancient Egyptians to learn about.
learn from their secrets.
Yeah, exactly. And so they learned a lot about that. But since I'm passionate about the past, passionate about the future with Tesla, of course. But it's definitely worth to look into that. The pyramids were basically the first gigafactories of their time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they figured out how to produce substances, in this case ammonia, but also nitric oxide and all that stuff needed to fertilize the land, but also to do advanced metallurgy, to extract iron and all that. So stuff that you need to run a society basically. And it also makes sense for me because even the most megalomaniac leaders of the last couple of 100 years have not been building those crazy tombs for themselves. After they're dead.
Yeah.
And you see nobody that builds that on scale. But what are actually the buildings that are on scale right now? Those are most of the time manufacturing facilities. So also nowadays we see that happening. What are the biggest buildings now on Earth? Those are the Giga and the TeraFactories that Elon is building.
Or skyscrapers filled with offices. Yeah, but
Sky also for productivity reasons. So it's definitely worth looking into that, or go to JOF. One is tours. It's very, very worthwhile.
Cool.
And see it yourself, because if you're standing on one of those pyramids, you see the harbor where the ships were coming in, and then you see like a sort of blueprint of different sorts of pyramids being laid out. And then you have the same feeling like a large-scale manufacturing facility, because also every pyramid had its own function and their own compounds that they were producing. So, for example, the Red Pyramid was focused on the process of ammonia, and the big pyramids and all that in Giza, they had different functions. But
why did they have the triangular shape then?
The triangular shape was a core, so you have chambers.
Mm-hmm.
And the triangular shape was just the most efficient way to build it. So the chambers in the pyramids, they can be seen as huge. There was a huge pressure being built up. So you have these shafts, right? So everybody has seen pictures of these shafts where you can come in. So there was water being pumped underneath it, or water being brought in via one of those shafts. There was air being pumped in. There were also pumps and drainages to increase the pressure for each and every chamber. And also the temperature in each chamber was rising and rising.
And that's also, it has something to do, or like there are some theories that they used water and frequencies to actually move those blocks up and down. So like that's also why they made those tracts in the pyramid. To get the blocks.
So they had a very good understanding also of water systems and stuff that we are now famous for in the Netherlands.
Yep.
But the pressure inside of those chambers could go up to very high bars and very high temperatures. So that needed
PSI
to be,
for the Americans.
Yeah, that needed to be super robust.
Yeah.
So the chambers were being made of very hard granites. But then the casing stones around it are so big and so heavy to withhold the pressure, and you also see like cracks in the granite, or you see parts that have been blown away. So also in the past they had
some
problems.
Accidents,
had accidents, and there are also famous encounters of the pyramid suddenly exploding,
like a nuclear reactor.
Like a reactor type of situation. So in the early versions of the pyramids, they learned about those mistakes. And so in the beginning, those did not have the shape of the pyramid, but in the end, they start putting stones more on the sides of the building.
Yeah.
And then, of course, on top, you also need to put some additional pressure in it, because everybody thinks those stones are all perfectly laid out. but those are just the outside stones. The
inside structure is completely different.
The inside structure, the core are the chambers are the granite stones. So those are very, very strong stones. But the stuff in the middle is just rubble.
Yeah.
Stones just poured in just to maintain the pressure on that on those core chambers.
Did he also say something about how the exterior really looked like? Because I've seen some videos where they thought there's this lighter part at the top to reflect sun rays or moon rays.
Yeah, there are different type of casing stone, so to say, on the side of the building. But for example, the red pyramid also had a certain coating on it, and it was a red coating put on the side of the stones. But those coatings and those stones also had certain functions. So could be for temperature, but also for gliding. What is the word for that?
Conduction.
Conduction, yeah. So certain stones had certain conduction properties to also harness lightning in the process of heating chambers up and creating electromagnetic fields.
Which might explain the pointy form factor as well.
Yeah. That's a factor, and also for later on the obelisk were also very much generated to generate electricity. It's especially if you have like an engineering background or so.
It's a must visit.
It's a must visit to go to Egypt, but also to check out Geoff his channel.
Cool.
And I think Geoff is really onto something with this. For me, I always feel like it's very important that we somehow understand our history.
Yeah, but the debate has been opened up in the last 10 years or so. I have the sense that we always had like this common shared perception of what the pyramids were and how they came into existence, and now there's an alternative explanation. Being brought.
I think it's very much has to do with the internet. Because archaeologists, they are in the business of digging up, materials and then just explaining the world from the materials that they have found. But archaeologists are not per se chemists, or they're not engineers, or they don't have a background in construction. So those things. Or they have background in, for example, astrology, which was a major part of the observations that they have been doing back then.
And they're perfectly aligned with the Orion's belt, I think.
Yeah, perfectly aligned true north and all that. So those equations were also very important. Archaeologists are also no mathematicians. But because of the internet, now more and more people with more and more expertises
they start to look at it and
are proposing hypotheses. But then also more and more expertises are looking into that. So, so for example, the Haber process of creating ammonia is like literally the same process as there has been using then. But he was creating different type of chambers with materials made out of steel instead of stones. So the stones were basically available back then. And for me, why it's also important to know this, the pyramids has been the highest building on the planet. Let's assume
up until the Eiffel Tower was built, right?
Yeah, up until the 1800s.
Yeah.
So 5,000 years BC. Let's stay with the official timeline that is being proposed there, but maybe it's even older. So it has been the highest building for more than 7,000, almost 7,000 years, which is
pretty
absolutely
wild.
nuts.
Pretty wild, yeah.
So what have we been doing in the meanwhile? And basically, if you look at the Roman Empire, if you look at the Renaissance, all that are still the reinventions of what they have already discovered in Egypt. When Napoleon came to Egypt, famously discovering his Rosetta Stone, which is probably a form of propaganda because he was looking for ancient mysteries, and then suddenly Napoleon shows up and finds the stone where everything is described on. So not sure about that.
And in medieval times, we went completely dark and backwards in history. And then luckily we had Renaissance retrieving those older
those
ideas.
old findings of Rome. But
Yeah.
the findings of Rome were coming from the
Exactly.
time in Egypt. So if you look at also the
Caesar and
buildings of
Cleopatra.
the dynasty there, the amount of engineering in construction is like insane, off the charts.
And did they also have something to say about the Sphinx sculpture? That it's not actually a Sphinx, but that the head was later put on in a later time.
Yeah, we have not been looking too much into that, but there are also theories
Yeah.
around that. But that brings me to the topic of Elon being absolutely right, that you just have certain windows as societies to make progress with, for example, making life multiplanetary.
Yeah.
We now have a unique window of opportunity to get to Mars as a civilization, basically for the first time in our existence.
Or stay stuck in the dark ages if we don't do it.
or stay stuck or stagnate, because also the moon program of the 50s and 60s, or the space programs being run post World War II,
Yeah.
they suddenly fell off the cliffs when there was no money available
late
anymore.
70s, early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So also a society can, can with all sorts of circumstances that
Yeah, they can digress and lose focus. And
Elon posted or reposted a tweet where everybody was talking about ways society could collapse.
Yeah.
And there are, of course, like hundreds of things that can happen to the planet and us humans. So by looking at the pyramids, you fully understand the capabilities of what the humans had back then,
Yeah.
being able to build the highest building on Earth for 7,000 years, being able to use high, advanced technologies
Tools,
for
yeah.
manufacturing. And when we talk about advanced technologies or ancient technologies, we assume computers and all that, but just like working with all those materials are forms of advanced technology, if you
100%.
ask me. But then also like the people coming afterwards, they could not understand how the pyramids worked, because they said, those people were magicians. We don't have
Yeah.
the blueprint. And I can hand out, for example, if I hand out the blueprint of Starship right now, Case, here's the blueprint for Starship.
I'll be done within 6 months. of course.
Yeah. But then you cannot do anything with it,
No,
because
you'll
you need,
run into problems that you need.
you need so many layers of expertise to execute. You need the labor to execute on it. You need you need all the materials from all over the world coming in to make that happen. So if you think about that, it's a very fragile it's a very fragile thing to be able to manufacture that kind of thing. So we're now sort of uniquely positioned, just like the ancient Egyptians had with the pyramids. They had the expertise of the stone cutters. They had the expertise of people that could lift the stones with ropes and pulleys and all that. They had expertise of the chemical processes. They had the engineering and architecture to pull it all together. They had all the labor forces available. If you think about that, that's already like so much brain capacity and so much execution power that you need to have. I get irritated now, because then people say, "Oh, Elon Musk, billionaire," but do you know how much you need to pull off and organize in order to make
that gets underestimated.
projects like this happen? That's was a very exciting trip, and it also makes me excited. During my trip in Egypt, I also watched the shareholder meeting, of course.
And what's the name of the channel again?
The Land of Cam.
The Land of Cam. Okay, we'll be sure to tag one of his videos so that people can click on it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But you watched the shareholder presentation.
Yeah, but I did my introduction. So let's what were your findings there?
It's been a while ago.
Yeah, just 1 week ago.
Yeah.
Only 1 week?
Not long ago, but in Elon's world, it's always like a week is a year.
No,
right?
but before we start with that, for me, thanks for really explaining what you were saying about Egypt, because I think we just touched the surface of what you really experienced there.
Yeah.
But already the having the consciousness that we are at this moment in time, that this is the moment, and that it reminded me of the story of Milton Friedman explaining the story about how to make a pencil, which is so difficult to actually make, and it's such a simple product.
Seemingly, yeah.
That also shows how good our society is at this moment, and how far evolved we are, and that we are crazy if we fuck this up.
Yeah, but look at your woolen pullover.
Yeah,
like the materials are probably coming from Peru. It looks like an alpaca type of wool. It's being stitched together probably in Italy, and then
the zipper comes from a different manufacturer.
The zipper comes probably from China or whatever. So only to pull off these of basic stuff, that we now we don't seem to appreciate that enough, if you ask me.
Yeah, and most of our engineering
and all the supply chains which are attached to that. I mean, if you listen to Jeff Lutz, you really start to learn about, how difficult is it to actually set up a supply chain?
Yeah.
And that's also why the Chinese are so good at this moment, because they've been handed over the power to actually build these supply chains. So
that's always what they say, right? You don't win the wars with the most advanced weaponry, but with the proper supply chain and logistics. Because also in warfare, you need to bring in the food, you need to bring in the munition,
and
the real
production of all the warcrafts.
Yeah, and same is true for what we see in the EV space, robotic space, and AI space. We talked about it many times in our show that you can come up with prototypes that are so amazing.
Yeah, but actually pulling off large mass scale production of something
100 times harder.
Yeah,
and then making it profitable. Till this day, I think
nearly impossible.
Xpan released becoming profitable for the first time in their existence. So congrats to Xpan.
Yeah, shout out to Xpan.
And Xiaomi with their new car,
the SU9.
Which is only selling in China, is profitable. Also that CEO is a guy to keep an eye on, because he's an amazing guy. Just said in an interview, his car is apparently a real threat to the Tesla Model Y. And he said, just in the interview, was so laid back, he just said, our car is not on the market yet. You can pre-order it. But if you want a great car, if you want a good car, you can buy the Tesla Model Y. I recommend the Tesla Model Y. So he's not, I think he is a CEO that understands this market is huge still. The EV market, there are still not many players that really understand how to manufacture at scale. And it's interesting to see that a company like Xiaomi, who has a background in consumer electronics, is now also succeeding in becoming profitable. But now step one is profitable, but then also coming on scale. And Xiaomi seems to be a promising player.
Yeah.
But of all the other EV initiatives over the last 20 years, nobody is profitable.
Still not, no.
With now the major threat of FSD.
Also remember, Build Your Dream was profitable, but not cash flow positive. Yeah. So there's
still
also difference in that.
BYD also has many other business lines than just their EVs.
Yeah, and they're plug-in hybrids. And
So
I don't think their battery electric vehicle was profitable. You're right.
So that achievement of Tesla is still, I think, very much underappreciated, the manufacturing capabilities. Elon in one of his interviews also said, at this point I've seen more about manufacturing than anybody else in the world, and being able to manufacture many disciplines.
I think, to answer your question, what stood out the most in the shareholder meeting was his announcement of the TeraFab. Mm-hmm. And his focus on chips.
The TeraFab?
The TeraFab.
Yeah.
Bigger than Giga.
Yeah.
Wow.
To produce massive
amounts of chips, which will be not enough.
Unreal. Like a wild, unreal amount, which still is not enough.
Still not enough.
Even with all the output of TSMC and Samsung.
Combined.
If you pile that up, and Intel. So they also talk to Intel. So the amount of chips, I could not fully comprehend that, but it's probably for the scale of Optimus that he's envisioning then.
Yes, but also for the data centers.
Yeah.
And the data centers in space. That's also something he talked about.
Yeah.
On the Tesla shareholder meeting,
That's
he
why
talked
we need
about
the inference compute.
AI data centers in space.
Yeah.
Quantum he also talked
computing.
about cars, but I think for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but the cars, it's a done game.
His head is in becoming a full-fledged AI powerhouse.
Yeah.
And completely vertically integrated AI powerhouse. So everybody's having these kind of questions about how is he going to compete against the big chip manufacturers, and how is he going to be capable of doing this? But I think AI will play a big role in that, in designing the new TeraFab.
For sure.
And that was something that stood out. It's all about chips.
But
chips.
apart from that, like in general, like the whole shareholder meeting, it was also a lot of repetition, and I still had the idea that they were not completely open about what's coming. Like he made one comment. They're like, "I'm gonna pull out a lot of rabbits from the head," but that's a comment that came after. So during the meeting, it was also quite boring.
But there were also like things like they look boring, but they were quite big.
Yeah.
Like and it was like in a side note. For example, we're going to remove the
safety driver by the end of the year.
It wasn't even spoken out by him. It was somewhere on the slide.
Yeah,
side note.
That's why you need Steve and Mark Ryan's videos, like to go.
This is quite big.
Yeah, but we talked about it in our show many times. Elon and Tesla is not in a position that they need to brag about anything. They don't need to convince anybody. And Elon, he only get critics when he start convincing people or promising timelines. So they just get rid of that.
Yeah.
They keep it high over vision and the stuff that they're working on.
True.
But not between the lines, but I always listen like to the real statements that were being made. So for example, Optimus will be the fastest ramp up and scale of a production ever seen. Any product taking in consideration. So I was looking back to data, for example, of the iPhone launcher ramp, which is actually, if you look back in time, it's a quite conservative ramp when you look into the numbers of that. It was not from very first moment that millions flew off the shelf. It was just a very small amount of iPhones being manufactured, and so the Optimus.
You know what the cost is of producing an iPhone?
No, but let's go into that in a bit. I just. When Elon says something like that, the ramp up of the Optimus bot will the fastest that we have
ever seen.
Have ever seen.
Yeah.
Then be sure that ramp up will be like super fast. They don't make that type of comments sort of out of nothing.
Yeah, but it also has some pitfalls potentially, because that would be Gen 3 or V3.
Yeah,
the full
V4
V3.
maybe that.
Yeah.
But 1 million capacity in Fremont, and on parallel, this is something that surprised me the most on Elon and Elon companies over the last couple of months.
Which is?
With everything they're doing, they are talking about future versions already. So we have AI chip number 5, but they already start talking about 6 and 7.
And 8.
And 8. They talked about Optimus number, the versions for Optimus. They work on a production line of 1 million in Fremont, but on parallel, they start building the 10 million
Texas,
facility in Austin. With the Prothrock boring company, they unveiled the latest version. I think it was version 4 as well, while already talking about version 8. What the capabilities of that will be.
Yeah, and they pull off the same stuff with Starship, where we've looked at those slides as well.
Yeah, so I was apparently internally in Elon's companies, they already sort of figured out that end state, but apparently they see hurdles to get to that end state. So certain technology breakthroughs that need to happen, or certain stuff that they work on. So that made it very clear that Elon is never working on the current version. He's like 2, 3, or 4 versions ahead with his team, and then the teams are just building it in parallel and learning from that. So that I did not heard about this kind of stuff in the past. Of course, you have seen those kind of iterations also with Model 3 and all that.
And it's easy to miss it, perhaps, because like you're always like, it's easy to be caught up in the moment and focus on the first next thing to come out.
Yeah, but everybody's talk about the 5 steps of Elon, like first delete the process, then and in the end you scale the solution, but you don't try to automate it in the beginning.
No.
But they have so clear roadmaps internally on all those disciplines that for every company, so for superchargers, for all the underlying technologies, superchargers, gigacastings, chips, Optimus bots, so also the end product, they have all their future versions already being mapped out. So where do you see that?
Like as in any
That's
other
crazy.
companies.
Yeah, well, maybe in the some Chinese companies, like Xpeng or Xiaomi, but well, what you also see is the convergence of all the companies with all these mega ideas. I mean,
they need each other to even exist as well.
Yeah, and you even see it on the shareholder meeting there.
About XAI?
They talk about XAI, they talk about SpaceX. There were questions asked about how are we as shareholder going to become a shareholder of, are we able to become a shareholder of SpaceX, etc. There are people talking about, okay, how is he going to fund all these new product lines and product factories? I mean, what's going to be the cost of a production line of Optimus of 10 million or even 1 billion? I think we're talking about 100 of billions, just the production line.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 40 billion in cash. How are we going to fund all these? And maybe there's like a cross-pollination possible between all the companies in order to get that cash. But I don't know if you saw the Musconomy 2.0 by Larry
Goldberg. Yeah, I just glanced over it, but it was a lot.
So only for the 5 things that we already named, I believe they need about 1.2 trillion in capex.
Yeah.
Or cash flow from somewhere.
Yeah, but 1.2 billion in trillion in capex is of course a lot of money. But if you talk about a company that will have a market cap of 8 trillion, then it's
less of a big number, but
so but still there's only 40 billion in cash. So there is these questions where
have you seen the CyberCab unbox first videos?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them, and the video were like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
and then I imagined, wow, but this video is 4 times longer than the actual process.
Yeah,
but they did not really share a lot about it, right? Because the people who were invited to the shareholder meeting, they got a whole walkthrough of the unboxed method.
Okay.
And Larry Goldberg, I think it was Larry who stated that, and he posted some pictures where you see like how the stampings, how it gets made. But I completely missed this video, guys.
Oh yeah, it's out there, but on the Tesla account. But it's you just basically see everything being put together in a very simple way by robots. But there's your money printer.
That's of course that's a money printer.
The
let alone CyberCab itself.
The rollout will also be they're now super cautious at this point, but the streets will be flooded by those cars. So it will not compete with taxis. It will not compete with Uber. It will compete with the whole ICE vehicle market.
Yeah,
and that is the aim. We're not aiming to just outcompete Uber or so. Those discussions are lame. That's not what Elon is aiming at. He wants to have 50,000, 100,000 of these things in every city. So the cost of a ride can go down to 30 cents or whatever.
So and the production started in April. That's also something new, no? That
The production of CyberCab or using the unboxed method.
no, the production starts in April.
It needs to start in April. Yeah,
But by the flyovers of Joe Techmeyer, you see many of these castings and stamps already being
and some new design features. There are some differences between the robotaxi that we've seen in the Cyber Tour, like where they showed off the CyberCabs.
Yeah.
And now it's the side and the rear is completely different already. So they're making changes along the way as well.
Yeah. So 2026.
I would be shit scared if I would be the CEO of Xiaomi or
of course,
Xpeng.
Or Uber.
I mean, they need to compete against
self-driving
robots.
Everybody forgot about or forgot about the licensing of the technology that at some point will come.
Probably
in place.
those deals are made already.
And Elon also talked about that. Probably 1 or 2 or 3 Chinese companies are being able to adopt, because with legacy makers it takes 5 years before anything gets adopted. But I'm just so freaking excited to 2026. So much is coming together in that in this year. Nobody can predict how 2026 will be for Tesla, if you ask me, because so many technologies are now
on the brink of like coming to true fruition.
So we know about the semi-truck, we know about the CyberCab, we know about FSD getting to a certain point. They're now for the first time pushing FSD technology to the consumer base. So they made this entire page.
The new page, which is
your favorite number on it.
Yeah, and it keeps on rising like crazy.
Yeah, exponentially.
And the FSD trackers.
Did you see the Cybertruck with FSD in Czechia?
Yeah, that's our guy.
Yeah, Cybertruck.eu.
Yeah.
And
it also shows how I don't know how they did it, but it shows what Elon, I think 2 years ago, said. You can put a car with FSD on a plane, and you can drive it off, and it still drives.
Yes. So to explain, like the FSD in this vehicle cannot use navigation data. So you cannot put in a destination and say I want to be driven there, but they call it lucky mode, or at least the people using it. So it just drives through the city, but you don't know where it'll take you. But it's still safe and can negotiate difficult situations. Some of the guys who actually did it reached out to me. You can buy this for around $1,200, and to unlock FSD on your vehicle.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
really.
And it's a small device, and they make use of some loopholes to get it there. So I'm just very curious how long it will take for Tesla to find out
kill it,
to kill this method. But there is a way to buy this.
Yeah.
And I want to try this.
There is a Cybertruck driving around in Europe with FSD.
Yeah, there are actually 3. He ramped up since the last time we spoke to him.
Yeah, it's time that UNECE is also watching this, and because maybe you can tell a little bit about that. What's happening with?
No, I've given up.
You did a video with Robot IRL about FSD.
Yeah, I met the robot IRL. That's short for in real life.
Okay.
He visited Amsterdam, and we spoke a couple months ago, and we did a drive around, and I explained what my timeline for regulations is. And even if I see the ADS regulations being made, so that's for like real robotaxi and not like the DCAS, where you still are responsible for driving. It's still the UK, the Swedish, and some Dutch commentary where they completely try to shut down system-initiated maneuvers on urban roads as well. So my timeline for European deployment has been put forward and delayed because I don't see anything happening right now, and not from within the UNEC.
Even with the petition going out right now.
Yeah, it's there was, I think, Jonas DM on who started it on X, where I think 13,000 signatures already,
Yep.
even more. But the problem with the petition is also a lot of American signatures, which they
don't count.
They don't count here. So it actually needs to be redone. And the petition, I think, it's a good way of like showing ontevredenheid, like your dissatisfaction with how the current state of affairs is. But I think it's a lot more important if we find out people that are high elected officials that actually can influence policy making more directly, because as long as you keep on doing it bottom up, you first need to bottom up to the whole bureaucratic layer of people making the policies in order of the higher elected government officials, or what gets decided in Congress or in the Tweede Kamer, in the second chamber here in the parliament in Holland. So I think it's worth diverting our attention more to those people and to having them experience this, that they put their fist on the table in the discussions, than just an angry mob of Tesla nerds on X. We want FSD.
No, but I think the angry mob is actually showing what it's possible. We now got the FSD website with all the data. There's all these kind of initiatives.
There's stuff moving.
Creating consciousness about this. Also in Europe. I think that's what we need.
I've been thinking,
but I have no idea how Tesla looks at it. But I think they are happy with it. I mean,
they are happy with it, but they are also kind of displeased with it, because the sentiment among these bureaucrats and regulators tend to go that the Tesla owners are like the only owners out there who are that are so vocal about getting a technology in there. Like, you rarely see Mercedes fanboys, when can we have Drive Pilot? Like, never. So they think it is Tesla pushing us. So it's sometimes it works counterproductive. So that's.
But in the end,
please get your dogs off me. Yeah,
exactly. But there are some rumors that together with some of the Tesla owners clubs, we're gonna do a specialized light show somewhere close to Brussels, and so we're trying to think of some fun protesting actions that we can do.
At least it's fun.
It's fun. And we don't hurt people.
We don't know yet, but we will learn if it's
no. 100%. But I'm actually a bit more confident that it will get passed in Europe sooner than we might expect.
Yeah, and what makes you think that?
The quality of the data. So Tesla has high quality of data, and the safety factor is already like almost an order of magnitude safer.
The problem is that data is not independent. So like they, of course, I know and I agree with you that their data is even better than other data you might suggest, because like they're so good in advancing that they really need to rely on valuable, good data. But the problem is that it's not independent. So like they can say anything.
No, but they can combine it with independent data. For example, car accidents that happen in Tesla, which is independent data from agencies in the US.
Yeah, but then still the reporting from the event data detection recorders in every vehicle, there's also some discussion about that.
So I think...
But also if there's like a fleet of like 20,000 CyberCabs driving around in the US in 10 cities, the data will of course also only be from Tesla, but it's also
the problem is
record.
I know some of the people on those teams. And they have sent out like complete thesis, kind of like 200 pages with tons of data. Regulators just look the other way. It's unreal.
Then one point, I think the data will become compelling and being pressured because it saves lives. That's the point. okay, then still it needs to happen. But the second thing is, I think you will start seeing more and more local initiatives.
Yeah.
Because countries more and more are starting to realize that they need to become competitive again. Countries are becoming competitive in ways we don't expect. So, for example, El Salvador get rid of all the crime, and they promoting very much the Bitcoin community to move to El Salvador. So that's like a whole new thing that was not existing 10 years ago, right? But also you see Portugal and Italy coming to the realization, oh wait, we're losing industries here.
Yeah.
We need to make ourselves compatible for new industries, so they come with tax breaks and all that. So countries that are sort of in a forced position to reinvent themselves are coming to conclusions that they need to adopt certain new behaviors.
Yeah.
And for example, a country like Switzerland or the Scandinavian countries that are very sort of data-driven and aware of safety improvements, also affluent countries. So it will somehow be adopted somewhere, because of course Tesla is also very eager to have their first European country being rolled out. So it's pressure from data, pressure from local authorities, and then the third one will be the pressure from the CyberCab market, because they want to roll that out at a certain point as well. And if you can go to a city of London or some super awesome city in Europe and say, well, we can have 20,000 CyberCabs. You can have
at the price of
make your mobility 10x more affordable for younger people in your city. Many cities will find that a very attractive proposition.
Yeah, and so I mean, we're going to see Waymo launching in the UK.
Definitely.
So,
Waymo also announced different cities in America. They are now driving on highways. So Waymo is getting there as well, which is a good thing.
Tesla is then also
paving
not
the
only
way
one.
for Tesla, as Elon said.
Yeah, and I think that's also like, if we stop focusing so much on like we need Tesla and FSD, we can also make it a lot easier and try to get Waymo here first.
Yeah.
Because that will pave the road for Tesla to make its entry.
To make its entry with the robotaxi,
Yeah.
and with the robotaxi afterwards, FSD will come.
And there's also rumors that FSD is coming to Japan.
Yep.
Soon,
which is also
Korea.
huge.
Exactly, and we've seen it.
Israel.
We've seen it as well. Yeah, definitely. We've seen it as well in Australia and New Zealand. And the funny thing is, like Australia, New Zealand, and Japan and Korea are countries that also are active in the same legislative process from within the UNEC. So that's also where I see those countries even don't have faith anymore in the decisiveness of the whole UNECE body, that they're just going at it by themselves.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a positive sign.
How did Australia do that, for example? How could they do it?
I think it's this in a similar manner as, well, for Australia and New Zealand, is they participate in the legislative, the design process of the legislation, but they don't necessarily ratify the regulations. So they are not obliged to make it internal legislation. And what you see happening there is that a high-positioned individual, he started making his fist hard for like putting the fist on the table to get stuff moving. Same happened in Israel. So I think it's way more.
So who do we need here in the Netherlands to do this?
Rob Jetje.
No.
No.
Maybe we know somebody
I think
within the RDW.
Alexander Pechtold is, I think, still heading the RDW or CBR.
Yeah, but
actually nobody.
And
we know somebody. Maybe we should.
People within the Ministry of Infrastructure and here it comes, Rijkswaterstaat. I don't know what the English word for it would be.
Yeah, but I had this thought that maybe we're going to see CyberCabs first instead of consumers being enabled for FSD.
Could be, yeah.
That can happen.
Highly likely, yeah.
Because if the rollout of the CyberCab will be aggressive, and probably the proposition of the CyberCab can be more positioned to local authorities.
And it actually makes sense because if, like, who is going to deploy those cybercabs? That will need to be Tesla at first. So Tesla will have to take liability here. And from a regulatory standpoint, it's not individuals being at harm and liable when using software that can make mistakes. But in this scenario...
And so, for example, Schiphol, they forced the cab drivers to have electric cars, right? So Schiphol and many people that have visited Amsterdam had their first Tesla experience because of the cabs in Schiphol.
Yeah, and that was like ahead of its time. That was quite early on with the Model S's.
Very much ahead of its time. Probably the first in the world to do something like that. So those kind of innovations can come from everything. And if Tesla has a sales department for their cybercabs, you can see adoption popping up left and right. So I'm very positive about that.
Yeah, for the rest of the world I am, but for Europe, like I'm losing more and more faith in like institutions such as the European Union and the United Nations.
Elon had a nice remark on Ursula von der Leyen, right?
Which was? Do you have it?
She talked about democracy, and she said, "Well, are you a democratic electric leader then of the EU?" Which is just no.
Yeah.
But Europe is somehow still asleep on those kind of things.
Sadly enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have something else that we heard last week that came to mind? Like,
Yeah, so many things, but I have to use my second brain for that.
Hey, but you're completely allowed to. The X was...
You know how I use my second brain, huh? It's just X, my likes, but I couldn't like any.
Yeah. No, so...
the one which we talked about, with the
FSD tracker.
FSD tracker, yeah.
Yeah, so...
The number of miles actually...
Yeah, we're going to put it on the screen as well, but I can't put it on the screen for you guys. But it was like a 1,395% increase in the miles to a critical disengagement since version 14.1.x.
Yeah.
So that's like a wall.
Yeah. What I also, you mentioned it, the data centers in space, and it sounds like science fiction, right? But I think it's closer. We already have sort of data centers in space with Starlink, just satellites sending out information back to Earth. And I think Elon is very serious about this proposition. Also, he now starts thinking about the moon more and more. So the craters on the moon are very cool and cold. And that is actually an ideal situation for quantum computing.
So he's going to fill... So the moon's going to be a giant brain.
Yeah, so since now Starship is on the verge of rollout, being able to do more launches and having more production capabilities, so thousands and thousands of launches will be
increased payload as well.
Yeah, and for the full data center launch, AI data center launch, there are apparently around 30,000 Starship launches needed. And that sounds a crazy lot.
It's unreal. That's so wild.
Yeah, but that's just 1,000 Starships that the production facility of SpaceX will be.
Times 300 days.
Times 300, not days, because they are reusable. Mm-hmm. So maybe they can go up and down 2 times a day at some point. So that can happen in 1 year time, right? So think about that. How crazy!
How fast can they produce a Starship?
Yeah.
How many Starships are available at this moment?
I don't know.
The roadmap is to produce at least 1,000 a year. But the first idea was, where is that for? Because the window for Mars is only small, right? What are you going to do with those starships
well, the
in the
first
Yeah,
meanwhile?
but that's
built,
it's also very optimistic because like currently the rocket launches are expected to happen and then they get scrubbed for like an additional day or 2 or 3 days. So like being actually able to do 300 times in a row or 300 days in a row.
Yeah.
But how many Falcon 9 launches do we already have? I think already
Yeah.
1 or 2 per week, maybe
but
more.
we are probably 3 to 5 years away of seeing thousand launches a day.
How many launches are we seeing currently worldwide?
And not so many.
574 total launches of Falcon 9.
Yeah.
In this year?
As of mid-November, there have been a total of 574 launches with 571 successful. So that's all the
It's
all
almost
Falcon 9
almost
launches.
2 a day.
Yeah, but it's not for this year. It's since May 2018.
Case, that's the next thing besides your tracker. Can you pull up later on the timeline for the Starship production? Because then we can. Elon has been thinking, okay, now I have this capability of these starships. What I'm going to build in space. So he now can solely start thinking about deploying his business ideas in space. And the first, apparently obvious one that he's been working on is those AI solar power data centers in space. So the amount of chips is needed for that. There's huge amount of solar needed for that. So SpaceX and Starlink, SpaceX and Tesla are becoming each other's biggest clients in the next coming years. But the amount of data centers that they're talking about is probably Tesla will play a sort of AWS role here as well for AI compute. That's if you're the one that can be tenfold cheaper than the rest of the industry by having basically energy for free-ish situation because the cooling in space and the solar that you then have. So the return on that money will be very fast. So that's one, and the second is their own capabilities to do that. So a sort of AWS situation for compute together with the interference of all the Tesla cars available.
Oh, you mean the inference cloud computing?
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's so crazy if you think about that.
Yeah. I would love him to have to speak up more about it. To present a plan of that.
Yeah, but
he's doing that already.
There's an internal space.
There was also. Did you watch the Ron Barron interview?
Yeah.
No, I still need to. Like I was too busy with Joe Rogan's podcast and Elon, which was very very good if you ask me. But
Which was also around that time.
Yeah.
So did you hear his remark about that it was not fully possible to get the corruption to a zero level?
Yeah, but you need to aim for as little corruption as possible. You can't really like
the amount of psychopaths. The inbound. No, I found this line. I posted it in the WhatsApp group as well. The inbound of psychopaths will be quite overwhelming. Like if you can state a line like that so calm, that's
but
crazy.
like there's a whole line of thought behind this, because in I think a later episode with Joe Rogan, there's this discussion has been centering about like so kind of a chicken and the egg situation, because in order to become someone who holds a lot of real power, you need to be kind of a psychopath, and in order to get there, you need to be kind of a psychopath too. Otherwise, you're like too soft to play in like a big part in real geopolitical events or wartime and stuff like that. But also having real power will corrupt people in the end too. So like the more people you have in power, that they tend to change into more insane or violent people. Because if
even bigger psychopaths,
so it's like, and it's the reasoning behind it is, if you are capable to make choices about we're gonna send 100,000 people to the front, and you know that they're gonna die. Like, it's an insane decision if you come to think about it. So you need to be kind of like a psychopath. So yeah,
and he was talking about this in about what? About Ukraine or about?
No, about ending the corruption. You said if I
Yeah.
would enter full corruption, then the amount of people that want to kill Elon becomes too overwhelming.
yeah, because
So
people are so used to corruption and like
yeah,
their pockets being filled.
Yeah, getting the money from the NGOs and the affiliated
Yeah.
organizations. So if you look at the early days of Doge that we tracked as well,
Exactly. Yeah.
you saw like 10 million for sort of culture change agency. Those are all the nephews of the people, and there's also a whole network of people benefiting from this sort of fake economy.
And either Republican or Democrat, doesn't really matter. Like,
no, it doesn't really matter. So let's say the system,
the uniparty.
yeah, but there's a whole sort of fake economy, and as an entrepreneur, you probably notice like, what is the purpose of this company? Yeah, it serves some part in the government or so, but it's not actually producing anything or moving any needle on a societal level. Only costs us money. So that network of NGOs, but then also all the affiliated companies on that's one hand such a big part of the economy, but also it's a fake economy.
Yeah.
And too many people are living off a fake economy, not producing or manufacturing anything. So Elon wants to shift that away, but he said like only with Genghis Khan type of power that could be done. So he is negative about it and only thinks he can grow GDP with AI and robotics and make the USA competitive again. I very much see a future happening where the Optimus bot and the AI capabilities will be held in the US only until they got their manufacturing power back again.
Yeah, I would love Elon to give some more questions or more, not question, to give more guidance around what he said in one sentence about Optimus being like a money glitch.
Yeah, infinite money glitch.
Infinite money
Optimus
glitch.
is like an infinite money glitch.
Yeah. So what is he exactly talking about? Because I understand one part of it, which is, okay, if you put Optimus to work, the people who are doing the work will be replaced because the work done by Optimus will be like 10 times cheaper.
Or highly augmented in terms of like increased productivity.
Yeah, so we already see that with non-embodied AI, like just LLMs or whatever. People, but you can code a website with an LLM right now. You don't need a developer anymore.
Yeah.
I think what Elon means there is just they, at a certain point, they will have 1 billion of bots. And I assume that a bot, in order to have it updated, you will have a subscription of, let's say, $100 a month, $200 a month.
Yeah. It will be in
together
operation
with the Optimus. So
20
first
hours a day.
You sell that
longer.
Optimus, and then
so
you
that's
have the maintenance.
on the Tesla side. So
then you have 200 billion monthly recurring revenue.
So there's a lot of money being sucked out of the local economy because the developers within this country are not needed anymore, but you just buy a ChatGPT account and you can develop a website there. So the next step is, okay, I don't need to hire a case to do my marketing, but I will hire Optimus to do that or whatever. Yeah. So the money I spend on Optimus will go to Elon instead of putting the money into Case and Case putting his well-earned money into the economy here in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So I would like to see more guidance from Elon how this is going to disrupt, I mean, totally everything what we are looking at right now.
Yeah.
So right now we're already seeing that the labor numbers are actually getting worse in the United States. So last month they haven't been publicized yet because there was like a government shutdown.
Like employment ratios.
Yeah, the unemployment ratios. So I think with AI, and everybody talks about it, with AI getting better and better, there will be more unemployment because productivity is going to go up. So with Optimus entering the workforce, unemployment will
be even more devastating.
Even more devastating. So normally in a normal economy where we live right now, the central bank has one tool to actually get unemployment up. So if unemployment was getting too big, there was a really issue with the economy. So what did they do? They lowered their interest rate.
Yeah.
So what happens when you lower interest rate? People are able and companies are able to actually get some loans at a very low cost, and they pay the loan. What do they do with the loan? They pay people. So unemployment rises again. So that's the feedback loop. You know. But right now, if I was a company and I could get a very cheap loan, I wouldn't put that money into labor anymore, but I would put it in GPUs or in Optimus.
Yeah, but
so that's the moment that the whole feedback loop is going to stop.
So
we will get an economy of deflation, but also a high unemployment, and there is no way of getting out of this loop. So how is he going to solve this? And how is this going to be?
And how will it benefit society? And exactly
instead of only Tesla.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a real thing.
So let me share your thoughts with it.
Demian for president.
No.
Demian for president.
I'm really curious about this.
I'm sort of having different thoughts on it. Because right now there's a whole lot of fake economy. A fake economy is an economy that is not creating any value or producing anything. There's a whole economy, on the other hand.
All the bullshit jobs, you mean?
Or jobs that are benefiting from the complexity of our current society.
Yeah,
so
with a lot of legal teams.
Tax code. Look at the entire like... for example, Zuid-WTC here in the Netherlands, which is sort of economic center.
Our financial district, so to say.
Our financial district. Let's all agree, if we want to start a company like in the 1700s, a VOC company like we're famous for in the Dutch, those guys were the last guys you want to have on your ship, right? So because apparently you don't want... You don't want a Zuidas banker...
an army of guys wearing body warmers. and calculators.
Calculators coming on your ship.
With a perplexity subscription. Okay, guys, what do we do now?
So you rather have your construction worker on that boat probably than those people. And including myself. We're probably quite useless as well on a ship like that. So not to discount any of those capabilities. Yeah, But so there are many people benefiting right now from complexities in the system with legal and the financial work that they're doing. There are also many fake jobs because we're just paying more and more tax, and that gets distributed by an inefficient government. Yeah, you talked about the RDW. What are they actually doing? Like, what have you done last week? That could be a good question for Elon. But what AI does. AI, of course, the builders of AI will benefit at a certain point. But if you look at the productivity enhancements of the people in the real world, doing real world stuff, like you say, I want to build a company, I'm going to utilize all these AIs. Guess what? Case also is building a company. He's also leveraging all the AI. So now suddenly... all the work that Case needs to be done. So, for example, you can make the case, I'm smart. I'm going to the AI and ask a developer to do all that work. Yeah, well, Case is the marketeer and says, well, now I finally not all that legal work. I can just get contracts out of ChatGPT. So suddenly Case is enabled to start his own company and do his own thing. So some people are, of course, stuck in sort of old way of thinking, like having a job forever. But the companies, I don't know a single company that is not talking about utilizing AIs. Of course, some are more advanced, some are less advanced.
But there's no company out there not utilizing at least a glimpse of it.
Yeah,
but what you're trying to...
what I'm saying is AI will be a massive enabler for people to enhance productivity and create value. So the people that are value creators in this world will not be bothered anymore by this sort of blue collar, white collar work that needs to happen. Like, I want to start up my company. I don't know how I need to do my tax code. Well, ask the AI and he will solve it for you. So
Where
what
you
I'm
first need
saying,
an accountant and a tax legal
yeah, and the
fiscalist.
developers that I've been working with, they suddenly enhance their productivity with 5x. So they do the mock-up in Lovable, then they translate that to code in all the other stuff. So they create value. Those developers are actually building anything. But what they use is all those fake jobs, legal, finance, and not discounting on those jobs. But those jobs are not adding any value in the system. You need a bunch of them to oversee a couple of processes in your company.
So productivity is going up.
Yeah,
So
massively by the value creators.
If productivity goes up in the economy, prices go down.
Yeah, that's what you see.
So with prices going down, you get more demand.
Yeah.
So that's all positive.
Well,
so there's like a deflationary kind of influx, just like our iPhone got a deflationary world, a new ecosystem. But on the other side, there's also this world where people are not getting their income anymore. And the unemployment will rise. I mean, those legal people will get unemployed, or are they going to be deployed again by using AI again? You mean?
Yeah. There are certain
they will
fields
start
that
earning money again. So
that needs
the
to,
whole
adopt.
economy will get better or bigger.
Yeah.
Well, what Grok says, like the real glitch in this system is that by deploying robots, you actually lower the cost of goods because you can scrap a whole lot of people out of this value-adding chain. It accelerates productivity, and thus it will allow people to buy more when they want it, when they need it, with less money.
Yeah. So, for example, if you go to a local butcher and you want to buy a couple of burgers, so you want to buy 10 burgers, I think you pay like 40 euros at this point, $4 for each burger. If you would calculate the cost price of that burger and the part of which is labor, like people standing in the store, and because if you need to stand in the store, you also need to increase the temperature of the gas. If you would let that same process be run for Optimus, but you can cut down the cost of a burger to 40-50%.
You can do double or non-stop shifts. So like
24/7. Yeah, so that's also increased output. Good point. So many of those things will benefit actually the value creators that are helping to create that. So that's I think that's a very positive thing. Where the challenge is,
but still,
there's a difference.
So, okay, within a company, there will be no labor cost anymore or lower labor cost.
There will
be more companies.
Decrease of labor scarcity. So like labor becomes less scarce, minder scarce.
Yeah, but also overvalued because compute will be so cheap. I mean, if you ask Grok the question you just asked, it will cost you like 1 cent or something.
Yeah.
So if with AI getting better in 2 to 3 years, Grok can write a whole business plan or a whole book for you. So you don't need to hire any more
McKinsey or all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So
but the McKinsey
so
guy
what I'm saying is that intelligence will become so cheap.
Yeah.
That if it gets so cheap, then labor, I mean, our economy consists mostly of using our intelligence into the system. What you're saying is, no, we're not gonna use intelligence anymore. We're gonna use creativity to build it. But
no, value creation.
Yeah, but eventually, I mean, I've been thinking as a CEO, why am I the CEO? Why am I having this role? Probably because I know the company the best and I am able to make the best decision. But
Or you
eventually,
started it, or you was a founder.
yeah, or I was a founder or whatever. It's just, but the AI will be much better in that eventually.
Yeah.
And it will do it 24/7 without being moody, without being making stupid decisions, only good decisions. Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah.
So even the CEO doesn't need to be there anymore. So the next step is who is going to actually build the company.
Yep.
It's not going to be a human anymore.
Or possibly, yes.
It's going to be AI itself.
Yeah, but also the willpower is becoming
the same
more
thing
important.
if you have a legion of Optimi actually running the farm. Do you think there's a human needed anymore to run your
They definitely
your
need an HR department.
your butcher?
Yeah.
The Optimus is going to think of all these crazy ideas.
He will do surgery on the cow first.
Yeah, and,
because it's a good surgeon.
He will think of all these crazy ways of selling his burgers to us stupid animals. You know, they will become so much smarter than we are. That I think this money glitch Elon is talking about is deeper than we are looking at right now. It's not just only replacing labor. If labor is not a function of the economy anymore, a lot of things are gonna change.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
what's gonna happen with currency?
Working will become
an Optimus doesn't need currency.
Yeah.
Optimus only needs energy.
Yeah.
And GPUs.
That's what Elon said, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so he only needs energy.
Let me explain it in this way to make it very simple. Yeah, so a currency on itself is not worth anything. It's a matter of exchange,
it's trust.
to making sure what you want from me and what I want from you becomes very easy. So we can use currency to exchange that. But currency on itself does not create value. So let's have a situation: you buy a second-hand car, a nice-looking a Cadillac of the 50s.
But you will never buy it anymore. Well,
just as a thought experiment. Yeah. So you buy an old Cadillac, and you spend your entire summer polishing the thing, getting new materials in, and all that.
Putting all your love into it.
Yeah, all your love into it. On the end of the summer, you have created value because you
turn something which was nothing or
turn something that was not worthwhile something.
Yeah.
You created value by enhancing that car, by putting your labor in it and putting that in it. So there are many things of value that can be created, that can be valued, that don't need any currency, right? If you only have currency but no value, you're still not a very...
Yeah, but like in this process, you of course still need to have currency to be able to buy the paint.
I'm not talking it in those ways. I'm talking in like macroeconomic ways of using. What's the role of currency in a macroeconomic situation? So why do we have inflation, deflation? Why is a euro back to the dollar, etc.? So the value of that money is dependent on demand and supply.
Yep.
So, and we use it as an exchange system in order to pay people or capital.
Yeah.
So it's either capital or labor. So what you're already seeing is that the big tech companies are putting all their capital into the GPUs as much as possible. They're not putting it into they're giving 250 million bonus for this crazy AI guru, but they're not spending it anymore on anything else labor-wise. They're not building marketing teams. They're not building teams to clean the build. I don't know, but they're not building their labor force anymore.
Yeah, but
that's what you're seeing already.
Yeah.
So they're putting their money into the capital. So the labor force that's us. That's we are paying with our earned money. We are paying all the stuff. But the new people who are getting the money, the GPUs, are not going to pay any euro on a burger because there's no need for it anymore. So the economy which we're building will become 10, 20, maybe 100, maybe 1,000 times bigger. But the other economy, the real economy, will stay the same.
Yeah, but
And maybe even get a little bit less because we don't have the income anymore.
Yeah, but what do you want from money nowadays? You want goods and services, right? So you want goods and if you have a salary, what do you want? A roof above your head, goods and services. That's what you want. But if you have an Optimus bot, or as you have a community Optimus bot or whatever, you can say, okay, here's the cow. He can be the best surgeon in the world. I want this cow to be made a couple of ribeyes, burgers, and all that. Yeah. And the Optimus will do that, and you can feed your entire community out of that. And those bots will do all that work. So I do believe you're going to see like much more value creation. So if I would have an Optimus bot, or a couple of them, so if I have the opportunity to buy a couple of them, I will buy 5. I will put those Optimus bots to work
value,
all the time. So my house will be painted like 2 times a year. Normally I do it once in 5 years, but now I only have to buy a bucket of paint, which costs pennies on the dollar. Normally I only pay for that labor.
I understand what you mean.
But I can also say, like, listen, Optimus bot, here's wood, but I want you to polish it like really, really nice. I want to make it from granite, but I want the granite to be fully
I completely understand this. So the value is going to be increased.
Yeah.
But what does that do to the how is Optimus paid?
Well,
it's not paid extra.
No,
it's paid by electricity. That's it.
Yeah.
So it creates value.
It's fed by electricity. It's not being paid even.
Okay, but then the value is created so your house will get a little bit more worth. But on the other side, I mean, why is this house worth 1 million? It's because of demand and supply.
Yeah.
The demand of the houses is not made by the number of people. Well, it's the number of people, but the number of people who are able to actually buy it. Yep. So, and they can buy it because they have income. If they have income, then they can buy your house at 1 million.
Yep.
But if that income actually gets out, there's no income anymore. Then the value of the house is also going down.
Yeah, but
so even if you get your house better with Optimus, it will the value of it.
Yeah, but
so is the value of our economy right now already not being artificially pumped up? Or
there's fake jobs and fake money influx being pumped around. So if you pump around money to just pour it in a big government, for example, that doesn't produce anything.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that
it's only paying people to be bureaucrats. So they get their money and they go on vacation, etc.
Yeah, so in one hand they spend it, so it comes in the hand of the people that create value. So you can make that argument, and that's what you always see when money is printed. You also see stocks rising because they absorb sort of that capital that is being pumped in the system.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like AI and robotics is going to enable so many more creators. And so many more people that are not being burdened anymore by whole sorts of things. So if you have like
the guy from Land of Chem, he just quit his bullshit job and he went doing stuff which he was inspired about.
10 years ago, it was not possible to do that.
He created value by actually inviting people to go on journey there.
So people can there are infinite amounts of value that can be created.
Creation possible.
Yeah.
True.
And it can be in it can be in all sorts of forms, right? So
I think we are both on the same page that value creation is actually going to increase.
Yeah. And the value creation will probably 100-fold in the next 10 to 20 years.
What's the effect of value creation on our economy? If at the same time the unemployment is going to increase by 20-30%.
Yeah, but at a certain point,
or all these people who are unemployed are going to be value creators.
There will be a transition. Yeah, so there will. Let me. It's from my point of view. It's you will have a transition period, But what's the whole point of having income? The point of having income is creating goods and services.
Yeah.
Yeah, so therefore I'm a firm believer of that we need to work towards decentralized distribution of compute energy and robotics, which is also, I think, in line with Elon's vision. You don't want to own all those. It will be a true statement what you say if all the Optimus bots will be of Tesla. But the people that will own Tesla are actually me and you and just the people on Earth, so to say. So they can use their Optimus bot to free up themselves to create all sorts of value. And what is the meaning of value? It's like, Kees, what do you want? Okay, you X, Y, and Z. And then, okay, I'm going to provide X, Y, and Z for Kees. So now I'm valuable for Kees as a human being. And he can exchange his value
So
to
you're
me.
transitioning more into a community, exchanging goods and services to each other, instead of like an economy where you need to
Yeah.
buy those goods and services
Like it
and exchange
always
your
has
labor for
been.
capital.
It always has been
Yeah.
this way. Only at a certain point,
But for
currency became more
for that
important.
transition phase, you do need a universal basic or high income.
Yeah, and there are too many people anyway that are making money or with the fake economy,
Yeah.
or the not value creating economy.
Or Bitcoin millionaires.
But there are also many people that are just speculating and can also make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the labor is not attached to currency already. It's
just follow Nancy
been a long
Pelosi's
time.
trades.
It's not only the people that create value that get the most rewards. That's not a true thing. But now the people that create the value, they can at least reap their own benefits of it. You know, if you have if you have all your goods and services and everything around your house is done, your dog is happy because Optimus walks 3 times a day with him. Yeah, what more do you need then?
Yeah.
Or want?
So what you're saying is, I mean, the Fed has to the reason the Fed is available, the Central Bank of the United States.
Yeah.
Is one is to keep inflation low, and the other one is to keep unemployment low. And that's the two tools. That also the tool is the interest rate.
Yeah.
So with interest rate, they can either
Increase spending or decrease spending.
yeah. So what you're saying is that, okay, I'm getting unemployed because I'm getting kicked out by Amazon.
Yep.
But then a year later, I start my own Optimus or my own.
You have your AI, you have your community Optimus that will provide for everything that you want.
Everybody will become like an entrepreneur.
Yeah. More and more. So you have the platform economy that is becoming more and more of a real thing to the benefits of the people that are actually working in the platform economy. There's of course downsides because it's not for everybody. And that is going to be challenging, but I think there's so much value and abundance being created that we will absorb that thing. So let's say if you're affluent, you're more able to take care of your family and your community, and the goods and services that you provide are becoming more available for community. So I was coming back from Egypt, right? So in Egypt, let's say society is not functioning very well. So everybody that you, if you talk to a policeman or if you talk to a waiter, everybody wants bakshish, which is tip. So basically, you having a job as a policeman allows you to be in certain positions where you can just ask for more tip.
That's what they call corruption.
Yeah. So, but the whole culture there is just like, yeah, I'm allowing you on this road, you pay me. So but you're put in that position. So the government actually pays you very little money, but you're now suddenly in a position where you can sort of charge,
and bypass the government.
Yeah, but that is of course not value creation that is happening there because you just need to pay off everybody all the time. But you also see that mentality of not value creation back in their own streets. So houses are very poorly maintained, streets are very poorly maintained. So in the end, the value needs to be created by its own people. and to have a collaborative mindset. So if you pay off everybody with baksheesh or with tip, then automatically there does not comes a culture of collaborating, because if you're on my position,
I want to get that money too.
you want to get the money too. So you're
I'm
just
going to go become a police officer, drive to a road and block people.
and I think many societies has changed from value creation societies. If you did not create value in the past in your community, out, because you could not survive simply. Because now and now there are many just money driven, and money becomes a sake on itself to have more and more money. But in the end, what are you going to do with the money, and what are you going to create with the money? That's not an enhancer anymore. So that's the challenge that we face. We need to change from a money-driven society to a value creation society. And some individuals are already very good in that. Those people will be enabled in the next coming years. Other people are behind on that, and they will suffer in the next coming years. Just that people that are now value creators are suffering by the bureaucrats that had a good run of 50 years.
What you are saying,
the dynamics will change.
Is the opposite of what I think will happen. Is that due to AI, we will see more job losses, and I think because we will see more job losses, more people will tend to socialism. Yep. So they will tend to go to the government to say, okay, I lost my job, I want money, the system doesn't work, look at it, the system is broken, there's no feedback loop anymore, you have to fix it. So you have to give me universal basic income.
Yep.
What you're saying is, no, this will create so much entrepreneurship
and
value that we don't need a government anymore, and we don't need to pay people universal basic income because they will earn it themselves. Mm-hmm. Well, that will be amazing.
Yeah, but like I think the base premise that we have here, that like AI will cause like elimination of jobs. Mm-hmm. That premise is debatable, of course, because what have we seen in throughout history? Like major innovations have led to increased productivity and also the creation of new jobs. Mm-hmm. So, are we necessarily going to remove all jobs, or are there going to be new jobs created? I think the latter will be the fact.
Well, let's start with FSD and robotaxi. So all the Uber drivers, taxi cab drivers, and truck drivers will lose their job. So they will start building businesses around robotaxi, or will they do something else?
They can do something else in the meantime, perhaps, or it opens up the need for a new kind of organizing of servicing a fleet like that. Yep. You get newer entrepreneur models that instead of like having one big logistic company employing drivers, you have multiple smaller distribution companies.
I got the idea. It depends on how fast unemployment will actually become real, and how fast we're actually able to replace.
I think that's
and getting new value.
Yeah. That's the big question, because
how fast are both going to happen?
Yeah. It's either it's a fork in the road. It's a dystopian or utopian future, right? And we need our societal and economic ordering system to make the right choices happen coincidentally, at the same time with AI progress.
Now, not only in the US but also around the world, is that socialism is actually getting bigger and bigger, because if you look at the trends, there are. I don't know about you, but you're 35. But are you a homeowner?
I don't own my own house. I have a rent. I pay rent. Yeah.
So I believe 30 years ago, everybody. The average homeowner was like, or the average first-time homeowner was like under 30.
Yep.
Right now in the US, it's above 40. So there are like people not actually getting into the capital system.
I see it in my friends group
So,
as well.
so
Like,
people
it
are
started
not
after
enjoying
33.
the benefits of inflation and having an asset,
No.
and the asset actually earning their money while they're doing other stuff. So they are actually getting upset by the system. They're saying this system doesn't work. It's not
Understandable.
working.
Yeah, and they
yeah.
live in a parallel system as well, because a lot of those people from my generation were the ones that decided to step into Bitcoin or started investing at a younger age, whereas your generation was, I think, told more like you need to work and save your money, put it into a savings account, and buy a house. Like your participation in the economy is completely different from that of someone who's 20, 30 years younger than you are.
Yeah. So are we going to see more socialism the next 10 years or more capitalism?
Well, they can go hand in hand, because
Okay.
those two forces are very understandable, and they both have a point, right? So if you are not able
And
to,
none is perfect. Yeah.
No.
not, and also there's no perfection here. So
Or are we going to see a new ism?
well,
I think that will be.
there will be many things that will develop in a world where, on the one hand, there will be more value created than ever, and on the other hand, there will be many people that don't feel that there's a place for them in this, in this new economy, or in this system. So those will be two forces that will be heard. And I always like if you very carefully listen to arguments from, let's say, the left side of political spectrum, I think many people are not listening carefully, because they make a good point, right? So if you're not being able to participate and have a house before age 40, what's then the whole point of of having a society then? If you cannot take care of your youngsters in a society and make them participate, then it shows that system is is ending a sort of stage. On the individual level, I'm very optimistic, because I can also say, Case, if you can you can move to X, Y, and Z. There's every opportunity. You can have your Starlink there. You can live in a place wherever you want in the world for much lower of the cost.
Have Optimus milk his cow?
Geo arbitrage.
like
Geo arbitrage, making $50 an hour in a country where the average meal cost $3 to $4. Yeah. So there are also more on the
Geo arbitrage. What's that?
Geo arbitrage is that you make income. You live in one country, but you make income from a country where there's more money. So let's say Case becomes a consultant in Switzerland, but he does his work. He does his work from Thailand or so, or something in a country like that. So,
my income is a lot higher, but my cost of living is decreased.
So and then you can say
my purchasing power rises exponentially.
You put everything in Tesla stock and off you go. So on the individual level,
getting there, by the way.
On the individual level, there are more opportunities than ever. But on a societal level and sort of systems level, it becomes very complicated, because now you say, okay, socialism, government, we want you to fix it. And then the government says what? Yeah, we don't have money anymore. We spend it all. We have too much debt. Now, are we going to default? This is going to happen because many countries, not only the US, but also China, European countries, there's so much debt that it will default at some point in the near future. So more and more people will start waking up on the opportunities that are there on the individual level. So, for example, now I hired somebody for my home to do meal preps for me, because I want the meal preps and the groceries and everything being done. I found that person on the platform, 20 years old, charging $50 an hour.
Wait, so you don't have a humanoid?
Not yet, but
it's pre-humanoid.
Yeah.
So it still needs to eat.
People are seizing that opportunity.
Yeah.
So on the individual level, there are solutions for everybody that wants to open their eyes for it. Let's say it like this, and it's not very complex in that sense. Of course, you need to want to do that, because I also made the argument: the people that are born in Amsterdam should be able to live in Amsterdam. I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah.
And that
Which
is
is virtually
becoming
impossible. Yeah.
So that is becoming more difficult. So therefore, on the local level, stuff needs to happen. But guess what's happening? Many countries are seeing like, okay, people are fleeing our country. We need to become more competitive. We need to do something about the competitiveness of our country. So on the individual level, there are opportunities, but also more and more countries adapting to the whole new situation that is about to happen. So I'm just a believer of the adaptability of humans. And of course, they will crack things, but people will also adapt and take care of themselves and take care of their communities and family. So I'm a bit more...
It's a process of creative destruction, I think, which is a positive force. So, I agree with Demian in this regard. We can also see this like as a very positive thing to happen.
As long as the ownership is distributed.
If you have intelligence, which is so much bigger than we are. So we are now looking at ChatGPT, which is like almost as smart as we are.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2 to 3 years, ChatGPT will be like smarter than we are as a person, or as smart as all the surgeons combined.
Mm-hmm.
So the intelligence itself will be with the LLMs, with the GPUs. So
but not necessarily creativity.
You are not being able to create value by offering intelligence because it's already in the GPUs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're only able to offer value, which is like manual labor, because the intelligence is already because it's not only it's more intelligent, it's also the cost of the intelligence is almost zero.
Mm-hmm.
So because the cost of intelligence will go to the marginal cost of an added GPU or a kilowatt hour of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be as cheap as, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I could hire the Einstein who's getting born right now, and I could pay him 5 cents a year.
Yep.
And I could hire 1,000 of them. And then I can make up an idea of my company and add value to the economy.
Yep. But let's
say I'm never gonna hire Case again.
Nobody should. Nobody should. By the way,
with the value proposition he has. Hey Florian, maybe I can do this better than those Einsteins which are on the market already. If my plumber or my comes to me, I got this Neo or Optimus, and he can do it for, I would say, okay, let's do it. But I already have an Optimus in my house, and I can download it, and he can do it the same. So what's going to be the where is going to be the value created if it's not already created in the machine or in the intelligence?
But don't underestimate the capacity of humans to deploy tools and become masters of tools. And if you
no, but we were always smarter than the tool.
Yeah, but Florian,
let me give you
this thought
until this moment.
Let me give you this thought exercise, right? So, how many things do you know that you should be doing that you're not doing right now?
So much.
Infinite amount.
Infinite, yeah.
Yes, right. So you can.
That's your example of actually getting this girl into your place. Yeah. So you free up time to
free up time
for which you can get more value added work.
You say you want to hire Case for his intelligence, okay? Yes.
No, but that's also one of the reasons I fired myself as a CEO at Mr. Green. Because I thought I can do better stuff. I can use my time better in order to create more value.
But the point.
So I understand your point.
The point I'm making is that intelligence on itself is not getting anything done. Yeah, there's
how you deploy that intelligence.
So for example, willpower and execution power is actually very important. So
Yeah, and your network.
huh?
Yeah.
Your network. So you know people where you can make a deal.
Yeah.
Network is important, but also willpower is one of the most critical things
Yeah.
to actually persevere, to push through.
Everybody can have an idea, but nobody
and
realizes.
that's the same thing.
But why shouldn't the AI will not have willpower? I think
because it needs to be pointed to
I've
certain
always learned
directions.
with my personal trainer, it's not about willpower, it's about consistency.
Yeah. So
And a robot is far more consistent than a human.
Yeah, but you cannot achieve consistency without willpower.
You can. Consistency is just doing it every day.
Yeah, but therefore you need the willpower to do it every day.
You just need energy.
yeah. So
Optimus just needs energy, just the kilowatt hours. And he's smiling. He's always
Oh, I got 30 of them today. Yeah.
he's always at the same level, always doing exactly the same stuff. He doesn't get bored.
Very consistent.
Very consistent, doing his reps every day.
yeah, but we also know
And that's
like-
far more influence
valuable,
than willpower.
like you have Case in your company, right? So Case probably on consistency is not
the highest.
not the highest willpower. Sometimes, but once in a while he comes up with a crazy idea and runs after it, and then he creates value for the company. So
On a very rare occasion.
yeah.
How much value does that create?
Well, it's like
Infinite money glitch here.
infinite money glitch Case.
Yeah.
So Case, that will always be sort of human ingenuity. Like, there Case comes up with something.
I think all the value which will be created extra
Yeah,
will be created and will be put into the new system.
yep.
So the old system will die.
Mm-hmm.
So the labor, the system where we're in right now. So the new system will have an infinite loop of value creation.
Yep.
Because we're not in that system anymore.
Yeah, or you'll have like the system will
capital
transform.
is out, and also our rare earth materials are out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we can recycle batteries, we can recycle Optimus. Eventually, they will find out a way to recycle everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will
Well,
become an infinite.
But the transition phase is like there's a high possibility that this will be like a bitch.
And this is exactly what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get an answer
I
on
know.
this infinite money glitch. How is Elon thinking about this?
How, when, and what are the like big hurdles or blockers?
how is he going to avoid a dystopian world where
Exactly.
everything is going to Tesla
Yeah, so like
and to us as shareholders?
there have been multiple movies about such a scenario,
Yeah.
and we're strangely close to it.
yeah.
I
Our
completely
show
get you.
becomes a little bit a stoner cannabis smoking podcast without the cannabis involved and all that. So
We can make that happen too, but
no, but there are of course many things, but also where I'm positive about is that now we're finally creating technology that can serve humans instead us humans serving technology. What has been true for the last 50 years. So right now, what we see is we're all slaves to our mobile phones,
100%.
which is sort of inferior device anyway. So dopamine culture is.
We're
strong.
being used to create money for the big
Yeah. So
big seven,
the whole model of
the attention economy.
the whole model of Meta and Google and all those companies are there to just
To have us glued to the phone.
to pull
Glued
you
to the
back
phone,
into their system.
get your attention so they can monetize your attention, right? So to sell certain type of products that
And with AI, they're gonna get our cognitive.
yeah, and we still have many people will still hack our dopamine systems with beautiful videos created by AI, and if we have certain patches on our body that can monitor those hormone fluctuations, the AI can inject us even more dopamine if we want, so we can get all crazy on dopamines all day if we want. So that is going to be a big problem on the other hand. But on the other hand, AI is going to help us prevent going into these dopamine glitches. And we'll say, like with your Whoop, for example, Florian, it's time to go to bed. You will feel better actually if you
Get off X. Get off X.
get off X.
Impossible.
Cigarette.
Abort. Yeah.
So there will be more extremes, of course. That will happen, and we are already seeing that. But there are also totally new pathways coming available. Like you are picking up surfing again in your 50s, right? So that would be unheard of a generation 100 years ago. Like grandpa is going to grandpa is going to learn surfing again. It's quite awesome because he feels 20 because his whoop tells him.
He became a professional surfer.
Yeah, because his whoop tells him.
Only because his whoop tells him.
His whoop is telling him he's 20 again. And there's biological biomarkers of his left eye shows he's on the biological age of 25. So, it becomes a fighter pilot all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Although it's not needed anymore by drones. So it going to open up all new venues. But what we're start seeing again is that AI is actually helping us to become better humans. And that is a very promising thing. So even like, okay, how can I resolve this conflict with my girlfriend? And he comes up with very thoughtful answers. And of course, the hope is that you will still go out and have a girlfriend instead of just talking to your AI. That becomes a scenario as well.
Hey, meet my girlfriend, and then there's a picture of Annie.
Yeah. So in the end, I hope it will free up our humans. It will free up value creation. It will free up our health, and eventually also free up our ways to connect again with each other and make better relations with each other. And we're not there at this moment, but that's why I'm also in favor of what Elon is building. He wants to build a pro-human AI. So how would you define that?
Yeah.
How would you define a pro-human AI? One, AI that doesn't kill humans. Second, let the AI prevent humans killing from humans, the Optimus bot that can. Did you heard Elon's remark on that? That we don't need prisons anymore because when you say convicted of a crime, we assign an Optimus bot to you, and in case you're sort of
it will just prevent you from doing the crime.
Yeah, and if you're then on the verge of committing a crime, he will just
grab you,
or
smack you in the face,
or just educate you all the time. Like Florian, you have these tendencies to start hitting people. That's a dumb idea. So yeah.
On that note, I think
so
this is a good one to wrap up.
A pro-human AI. How would it look like?
Yeah. So let's wrap
prevent
up this
us from kill
this
each other.
episode.
Prevent us from harm ourselves with bad behavior.
All the philosophical questions are out there. So let the listeners and the viewers
comment of how a pro-human AI would look.
How are we going to do it, and what will the role of money be for Florian?
Yeah. So let's do the next podcast on how would a pro-human AI and robotics solution look.
Perfect.
like.
And do you want
I'm
us?
very curious to your answers, Kees.
And do you want to have us take some cannabis before or some mushrooms?
We're high on our own supply, as we say. So.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
See each other next time.